The advocacy group Niger Without Borders has formally endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second term, as well as Governor Mohammed Umar Bago of Niger State for a second term and Senator Mohammed Sani Musa for a third term in the 2027 general elections. The endorsement was announced on Tuesday at a press conference in Abuja. In his address, Comrade Hussaini Abubakar described the decision as rooted in performance, policy direction, and measurable outcomes at both federal and state levels. The group highlighted President Tinubu's economic reforms, noting that difficult decisions such as the removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the foreign exchange market have begun yielding results. They cited narrowing fiscal deficits from over 5% to around 3% of GDP, strengthening economic growth projections approaching 4.5%, improved external reserves, and high governance revenue.
We are here to take a clear, firm, and unapologetic position. After a careful and evidence-based assessment of governance at the federal and subnational level, Niger Without Borders hereby endorse the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second time, Governor Mohammed Umar Bago for a second time, and Senator Mohammed Sani Musa for a third time in 2027. This endorsement is rooted in performance, policy, direction, and measurable outcome. Nigeria has moved from uncertainty to structural reform. Niger State has moved from stagnation to agricultural and infrastructural ambition. The legislative representative from Niger East has moved from routine participation to strategic influence. The question before Nigerians is simple. Do we disrupt this momentum, or do we consolidate it? President Tinubu, from difficult decision to measurable gain. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assumed office in May 2023, Nigeria was confronted with several structural imbalances: unsustainable fuel subsidy, a fragmented foreign exchange system, weak fiscal discipline, and declined investor confidence defined the economic landscape. This administration chose courage over convenience. This gain did not come without sacrifice, but they have placed Nigeria on a path that is sustainable. Disrupting this trajectory in 2027 will not be regression.
On the Governor Bago, popularly known as the farmer governor, the group praised its focus on agriculture, positioning Niger State as a potential food production hub for Nigeria and West Africa through mechanized farming, irrigation investment, and rural infrastructural development. Senator Sani Musa was commended for moving beyond routine representation to strategic legislative influence, including sponsoring bills on employment, infrastructural protection, and institutional reforms, as well as effective committee roles. The group argued that Nigeria is in a critical consolidation phase of reforms initiated in 2023 and urged citizens to prioritize continuity, stability, and progress over policy disruptions. The Niger Without Borders called on Nigerians, especially stakeholders in Niger State, to focus on long-term national interests in the 2027 general elections.
Reimagining Niger State as Nigerian agricultural powerhouse. At the subnational level, Governor Mohammed Umar Bago has demonstrated what purposeful leadership can achieve in a short time. His administration has placed agriculture at the center of economic transformation. This is strategy. Niger State, long recognized for its vast arable land, is being repositioned as a food production hub, not just for Nigeria, but for West Africa. Large-scale mechanized farming initiatives, investment in irrigation, and partnership aimed at boosting productivity are redefining the state economic outlook. The foundations have been laid. The structures are taking shape. The early results are visible, but the work is not yet complete. Fiscal reform must deepen. Tax system must become more efficient. Infrastructure must expand. Agricultural productivity must increase. Jobs must be created at scale. This objective requires continuity. At a time when the nation is seeking to reduce dependence on food import and stabilize prices, leadership like this must be sustained, not interrupted. Senator Sani Musa's strategic representation and legislative impact. At the legislative level, Senator Mohammed Sani Musa has provided representation that goes beyond attendance to influence. Since his election, he has played key role in legislative committee and policy intervention that directly impact governance and development. Nations do not progress by consistently restating their policy. They progress by sustaining and refining them. Nigeria is currently in the consolidation phase of reform initiated in 2023. The foundations have been laid. The structures are taking shape. The early results are visible, but the work is not yet complete. Fiscal reform must deepen. Tax system must become more efficient. Infrastructure must expand. Agricultural productivity must increase. Jobs must be created at scale. This objective requires continuity.